Hi guys, it's Emily from Nobel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my Victober TBR 2024. Yes! One of my favourite videos to film every year. One of my favourite readathons, if not probably one of my favourite readathons to do in the whole year. Now that I'm doing the spoonies again, I think that kind of just, for me, is my personal thing that tops it a little bit. But I love Victober. Victober is a readathon. It's one of my first readathons I started when I joined BookTube many moons ago. It's what drew me, maybe sort of introduced me to a few friends. It's what got my love of classics. And oh my goodness. And this year I feel like I'm excited again. I've had a bit of a rough time with classics recently, but the books I've picked for the challenges this year are ones that are very close to me. I've not gone too experimental with them. I've not really gone for I've stuck with authors that I know I like. I have been a bit careful, but I'm not going to beat myself up anymore. I've decided to be a bit more gentle on myself. Victober this year is being hosted by the lovely Katie from Books and Things, Kate Howe, they're the two that have hosted it for the longest, Marissa from Blatantly Bookish, and the lovely Ross from Skelly Danglings About the Books. They are four amazing ladies. I will link all their channels below. I will link, I'm trying to think if I can link the prompts down. Everyone's going to know these prompts. I'll probably share either one of the announcement videos, or I may write the prompts down because there's not too many this year. So they are doable. So I don't know. Editing Emily does not know whether I'm going to be adding them or what, but I am so happy it's Victober. I've got a book for each of the prompts. I may add extra books midway through the month, so watch out for my midway through the month thing. I have got in October, let me just see, I've got a classics video that I'm definitely planning. So I'm going to be in October, I'll be sharing the classics for 2025. I've decided rather than rereading classics next year, I've picked 6 or 7 books that I'm going to be reading over the course of the year. And they're ones I'm excited about because I really want to get my love for classics back. So, I'm not vlogging this year. I've decided that I've got a bit of a busy October with some hospital visits and some other things. So I'm not going to vlog. I will do some more, I think I might do some Instagram posts. I might do some community posts. I might even attempt a short. You never know. I might even attempt to do a short because Chris, my other half, is going to try and teach me how to do shorts. So, you never know. You might get a short. But I'm going to try and do other things like that and do things a bit differently this year because vlogging is hard work and I've got a lot on my plate, so be a bit of self-care. You won't have that this year. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's get to showing you the books. And I just realised I want to have something that I can put my books on once I've shown you. So the first prompt is, it's Kate's challenge, and that is read a Victorian book where religion is a component of the story. I'm going for The Vicar of Bullhampton by Anthony Trollope. Anthony Trollope does write a lot of books where religion is a component, although apparently, according to Katie and all of the other hosts, there are a lot of Victorian books you can use for this prompt. But I bought this last year and it's an edition that I sort of collected a little bit. I know Charlie from Charles Heathcote is either currently reading it or has read it and he liked it. He said there is a bit of romance and there's a bit of mystery, so this is apparently a wise novel about how men react to women in unconventional situations. Ooh. And this was apparently written first published in 1870 and addresses the burning issue of the time, the woman's question. Trollope chose as his pivotal female characters two quite different women. One of them, Mary Lowther, is young and middle class and displeases her friends by insisting either on marriage of her choice or a single life rather than a good match. The other is Carrie Brattle, a miller's daughter who has fallen miserably into prostitution. Ooh. The Vicar of Bullhampton's parish, Frank Fenwick, is vigorous, well-meaning and apparently quite modern in his outlook, but faced with concrete examples of problematic women, he demonstrates the limitations of conventional thinking of class and age. Very intriguing. Let's see what that's like. But apparently it's supposed to be a good one. I know that Katie loves Anthony Trollope and I do love Anthony Trollope. For this prompt you could also use The Warden, you could use the Bastard Chronicles, any of those series, they have religion in it, so Anthony Trollope is a good go-to for that prompt. The next one is Katie's challenge. Read a Victorian book that plays with form in some way. I have no understanding of this. I have not got a clue what she means on it. I'm sorry, Katie, I'm a bit daft. So I've gone with a book that apparently she's listed as a book that will count for this prompt. I am scared. I picked The Pickwick Papers by Charles Dickens. It is one of the only Dickens that I've not read. It's probably my biggest book on this bloody list. Bear in mind I'm still reading Gone with the Wind next month. 754 pages. So my decision doing this now is that I'm going to read this over the whole month. The other books I'll read one at a time, but this will be read over the whole month. That alongside Gone with the Wind, so maybe I might try and get Gone with the Wind read a bit sooner. This is one of the only Dickens that I've not read, so my aim is I'm gonna try and complete Dickens' work by the end of next year. Actually, that'll be another one of my goals, I think, because I've just got this to read and a couple of others. I've got to read The Mysteries of Edwin Drood, and I've got to read a couple of other books, so I'm nearly done on reading all my Dickens main novels. So this one is going to count for that prompt apparently, and it is one that's going to be read over the whole month. Rising rage and extreme bewilderment had swelled the noble breed of Mr. Pickwick, almost bursting of his waistcoat. And apparently, I think this might have been serialised, but it will count for another prompt. The Pickwick Papers was a comic masterpiece that catapulted its 24-year-old author into immediate fame. Readers were captivated by the adventures of the poet Snodgrass, the lover Tupman, and the sportsman Winkle, and above all, the quintessentially English quixote Mr. Pickwick. I don't have to say that. And his Cockney Sancho Panza and Samuela. And it's from the hallowed turf of Dingley Dell Cricket Club and the unholy fracas of Eton election via the Fleet's debtors' prison. This does look really good. I've heard good things about this book, but it is massive, so it will be read over the whole month. That's going to be my challenge. I'm going to have to separate it all out. So if you think, basically add it up to 800 pages, that's like 800 divided by 4, so that's 200 pages a week. That is doable. I can do that. Going to be a challenge, but I can do it, and I will do it. That's my plan for that. The next one's one I'm super excited about. Marissa's challenge is read a Victorian work that was originally serialised. So I think that would count, but because I like to do an extra one, I believe Great Expectations by Charles Dickens is also serialised, and this is one of my classics to reread, so that it matches two of the things that I wanted to do. Great Expectations is my second favourite Dickens. My first favourite Dickens is David Copperfield. This is my second favourite, so I'm hoping rereading it. And I'm rereading it, but I've got a new edition, so it goes on my numbers. And this is only just over 400 pages, so I say only, but for me that's not a problem. It's like 412 pages, so that can be read in one go. I can read that over a couple of days. This one is one that I'm very excited about. I love Great Expectations. I've not read it it was probably my first Dickens that I read, apart from Oliver Twist. And this is about Pip, who's the orphan, and he is from a boy of shallow dreams to a man of depth of character. From his famous dramatic openings on the Kentish Mass, I remember loving the character Joe Gargery, I think I've said that right, who's the kindly blacksmith. Then we've got the mysterious convict Abel Magwitch, who's a very baddie. And then we've got the eccentric Miss Havisham and the beautiful ward Stella, Pip's good-hearted roommate Herbert Pocket, and the pompous Bumblechook. This is brilliant. I love this book on the first time. I can't wait to reread it. It's going to be perfectly, because it fits that prompt. It's a reread. It's going to be a good one, and I would like to see if I love this just as much this second time around as I did the first time around. So that's one that's really exciting. The next prompt is Rosie's challenge. Experience Victorian drama. Read, watch, or listen to a Victorian play. I'm going with a safe bet. I'm going for Oscar Wilde. I'm reading some of Oscar Wilde's plays. I read some of them last year, and I wanted to read some of them this year. And I'm going to try and read some of the plays in here that are different plays. So I've not read Lord Arthur Saville's Crime, which is one play, I believe. Or it's a play, or is it a short story? And I've got The Fisherman in His Soul. I've got The Happy Prince. I think I read The Happy Prince last time. The Devoted Friend. I think these are plays. This is about as close to that prompt as I'm getting, so I'm kind of hoping these are plays, not short stories. I may have stuffed this up. If not, I'm sorry, Roz, I may not have found a book for your prompt just yet. I will look for other Victorian plays, but this is kind of the loosest possible terms. I realise they're short stories, not plays. I'll find some plays. If not, I've not matched Roz's challenge. I'm sorry, Roz. I am trying my hardest, but like I said, I will look for plays. But that is a prompt I find hard anyway. But I'm going to read some of Oscar Wilde's things, and that's also for sentimental reasons. That last year I read Oscar Wilde's books with Alice. Oscar Wilde's plays with Alice. So whether I had the guts to read some other plays, I do not know. But that's about as close to it as I can get. Now the next two are very close to my heart, and the hosts of Victober this year have decided to do challenges in honour of two of our beloved booktubers that we lost this year. And talk about breaking me into a million pieces when I saw the announcements. The first challenge is for Jennifer from Jennifer Brooks, who we lost at the start of the year, and that was a very sudden and very sad loss. And for that prompt it was to read a book by Wilkie Collins, and I was already going to be reading this anyway, so the fact that it matches a prompt is good, and that is Poor Miss Finch by Wilkie Collins. You all know Wilkie Collins is one of my favourite Victorian authors. I'm trying to gradually read all of his plays. This is again just over 400 pages. This does have disability rep as well. I love Wilkie Collins. Yeah, I think Jennifer was one of the ones that got me into it, as well as Charles Heathcote and Katie. They love Wilkie Collins' books, but this isn't one I've heard much about, but it is one I've heard has got disability rep, so it will work for the Spoonies next year. And it's got a character, and this is Wilkie Collins' intriguing story about a blind girl, Lucilla Finch, and her the identical twins who both fall in love with her. And it has the exciting complications of better known novels, but it also turns over conventional expectations, using the background of myth and fairy tale to expand the boundaries of 19th century realist fiction. Collins not only takes a blind person as his central character, which is fabulous, I really love and I really want to promote that. It has sensitive presentation for difficulties, disappointment and occasional delights, which follow the recovery of sight. I'm really intrigued by this book. It's probably one of the ones that I'm most excited about in the whole of my TBR. I love Wilkie Collins' books. I love that it's got disability rep. I love that I will be supporting Jennifer in posthumously, and yeah, I'm super excited about that. And obviously we all know that this year, in June this year, we lost Alice from Alice's Giant Bookshelf, who is one of my booktube best friends, and it was a heartbreaking loss. And the fact that the hosts have decided to do a challenge in honour of her, we know she would have loved that. She would have really loved that. And her challenge is to read a book by Arthur Conan Doyle. The lovely Chatty from Mad Chatter gave us all books by Arthur Conan Doyle, so we've got this very pretty book, and some of these plays are going to would have been written in Victorian times, some of them might not be, but as Katie and as Alice would have said, we're bending the rules of Victober. We like to do this. This has got a series of short stories, so it's got A Scandal in Bohemia, The Red-Headed League, A Case of Identity, The 5 Orange Pips, which I do believe that one is Victorian. We've also got The Man with the Twisted Lip, The Blue Carbuncle, Speckled Band, The Engineer's Thumb, The Noble Bachelor, The Baron and Coronet, and The Copper Beeches. So again, this will be a one that will be read over the course of the month, and in honour of Alice. I know Alice loved Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Let's go with that. And then lastly, there is the group read, which is, and I'm going to have to put that there because that's falling. And I've just realised I've put my book on the wet table, and the group read is The Doctor's Wife by Mary Elizabeth Brannan. You all know that I loved her first work, which was Lady Audley's Secret. I read that a few years ago and it was one of my favourites, and I'm really excited about this. I was glad this was chosen as a group book, and apparently it combines its classic women sensational novel. It's another sensational novel. I love sensational novels, and it talks about the rewriting of Madame Bovary apparently, and Braddon's heroine Isabel Gilbert is trapped in a marriage to a man incapable of understanding her imaginative life. It does look perfect. It's about 400 pages, so they're not too long. This is literally pretty much bang on 400 pages. So I will be reading this after one of the other ones. I think, I'm trying to think, if you've got to the end, obviously, what books are you reading for Victober? I'd love to know which books of these are the shorter ones do you think I should prioritise. I would love to get feedback from you guys. I think, obviously, for me, Victober, it does have the sadness mixture in about Alice. So I think because I've got a plate and I've got things, I think if you've got, actually there is a pipe on this, if you've got like a pipe or anything connected to South Arctic, so like a magnifying glass or a pipe, if you've got to the end of the video, leave that emoji. And let me know, like I said, what you've been reading to Victober. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribe, ring on my ding-a-ling, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.